I have a problem with LinusTechTips, MKBHD, and Unbox Therapy, and the likes. I need to be really tactful with this one because this is a topic which I could offend a lot of people, and I don't want to. I want to be critical, and I want to explore that with you guys. We've not discussed this before, really, so let's roll the intro. Hey Nimtags, and welcome. This is Ash from HealMyTech, helping you go from newbie to techie. Okay, so we're back with Shaq and Sham.
Yes.
You've seen them in a couple of videos from before, and hopefully, depending on the like to dislike ratio, we'll get them on more often. Okay, right, I'm just gonna splurt it out. Now, I just want to say from the onset, I have so much respect for LinusTechTips, MKBHD, Unbox Therapy, what these guys have done, and a lot of tech channels, by the way. Yeah, what they've done, they are my heroes. I admire them. I learned a lot of techniques from them, not necessarily repair stuff, but techniques of content creation and marketing and presentation. Yeah, and I wish I could be to that level. By the way, guys, let's do a collab. Come on, I need the dosh.
Sounds desperate.
Yeah, I am. But I have a huge problem with this kind of platform. Huge. Because I'm on the consumer end, whereby a lot of people come to me to repair stuff. And I myself, I am very interested in repair. Not trying to be too green, but yeah, why not repair a gadget, just changing a fuse and, you know, just rewiring something and keep that for much longer, which still works. As evidence, as you guys may know, I'm still using my FX8350 for content creation. I did a video recently, although everyone is kind of jumped onto the AMD Ryzen platform, or maybe some Intel. You have
AM3 Plus
Phenom. Quite cool, which you used to game on before.
Yeah.
And
I
you
have
also
the
have a 6300.
6300, yeah.
Which is similar to the gaming PC I've just done yesterday.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
giving us 60 FPS, 1080p.
Yeah, it's really good.
Brilliant.
It's fine, yeah.
Right, now here's the issue, yeah? I mean, I didn't feel the need to upgrade to Ryzen. I wanted to because it's an exciting new technology, new platform, new architecture. It's brilliant. And I think I will benefit from it. But my point on that video, by the way, link up there, go and watch it, is it would have cost me probably close to £1,000, yeah? But I would not get £1,000 benefit back from it. Instead, I would have been better off investing in other stuff, like I mentioned, maybe better recording equipment, a second camera, which I did, or even invest in paying that money in a skill, learning a skill to make my video editing better. All this stuff and those would be more profitable. Now, the likes of LinusTechTips and MKBHD and Unbox Therapy, they keep pushing the latest and greatest constantly. And as much as I admire the technology, I think they're causing a huge problem to the community in general, because young kids who don't know better feel obliged to need to buy the next stuff. What we got lately, Galaxy S9?
Yeah, like just now, the Galaxy Note 9. Yeah.
How much does it cost?
It's like $1,200, like nearly £1,000.
That's ridiculous.
For a phone.
Okay, tell me something. What huge step in tech is it from the last version or from any other flagship phones we have right now?
I mean, if you go to their spec page, I'm sure they give you like a bunch of the reasons why, you know, how the tech has improved, how the clock speed has improved of the processor slightly by a couple of 0.2 hertz or whatever. But it's like, at the end of the day, at least in my experience, you know, I don't personally see. And I think this is something that's been happening recently over the past few years. Like, I don't personally see why people even really need to spend money on a phone that's more than like £300 anyway. Because it's like, I find that for me, like a sub £300 phone does everything that I need it to. You know, I don't know what people are using their phones for, but personally, like, I don't really use my phone for much more than like WhatsApping people, going on YouTube, checking Twitter. Like, I feel like I don't need a like £600 phone, let alone £1,000 phone, just to do that. I think the only thing that I do see a genuine increase in quality of is the camera. I do find that sort of like sub £300 phones, like my phone is a Moto G4 Plus. It's like a £180 phone on Amazon, at least when I bought it, which was like a year ago. And the only thing I find about that phone is the camera's a bit not great.
I'm going to interject on that, and I think Sham has got something to say about this, yeah? Do you know Digital Rev? Digital Rev. They are like a camera YouTube channel. Kai Y was there, but he moved out and he's doing his own thing.
Right.
Anyway, they used to have this series called giving a crappy camera to an expert professional to get them to take brilliant pictures.
And vice versa.
Now, Sham, you've actually studied
photography. Yeah,
I haven't, but I've come to understand that the camera
is more
isn't the be and all of all stuff. No. You can get a budget entry-level camera, and it's down to the person.
Yes.
6 inches behind the camera, the composition, the exposure. Even more important, telling the story. That's what's more important. So this gimmick about better camera, especially with the double lenses on all the new flagship phones, is a gimmick, correct? Well, and it's not all that.
It's good if you know how to use it. If you know exactly what the benefit of having more. At the moment, they're just pushing the whole megapixel thing, or dual camera lens, or portrait mode, whatever. But it's like if you don't know what those things are and how you can use them to generate better like quality photos or quality videos, and also if your intention is not even to make better quality videos, if you just want to record videos of your kids, just like that's it.
So you don't need that.
You don't need that, right? You're not going to try and make a home movie like that unless you are like somebody super deeply interested in film.
But here's the point: that £1,000 or $1,200 you're talking about, for that price, you were saying sub £300 phone, yeah?
You might as well buy a £100 phone and then a £900 camera if that's what you really want.
Yeah. Exactly.
Why do you need to smash it all into one object?
Or even not 100, 900.
But you know what I mean? Like,
separate camera, which a dedicated camera is always better. Anyway, it will get you to become professional eventually. Yeah. Not with that. I mean, the smartphone has limits, correct? Yeah. Now, okay. So is this like am I complaining too much?
Are we just old? Are we just?
It's not about. I think it's more to do with the idea of having a phone that does loads of things is cool because it means if your purpose is just to take a snap here and there wherever you want to take a photo of your food at the dinner table or whatever and post it on Instagram. It doesn't really. You don't want to have an additional camera that you have to bring out, lug around, and like take a photo
set
in
up
the
the
middle
flash
of the
forward.
restaurant.
But do you need to keep feeling forced? I'm using this word loose, every year to spend £1,000 or $1,200 on the latest phone to take picture of that stupid dish.
No,
that's the problem, and that's the problem, and that's not just with phones. And again, no disrespect, but Linus recently did a video on a camera, red camera, bought a red camera, and he was so shocked in the video. And I don't know how much of this was acting for the sake of the camera, but he looked so shocked and peed off that they had to spend, I don't remember how much, almost $200,000, and then they had to buy everything proprietary, down to the battery, to the cable, to connect to the audio, everything. That's crazy. Obviously, the camera was shooting, was it 8K or 4K? I don't remember. But again, Linus, you're not making movies, yeah? Why did you need to even go down that route? And then did you not even know you were authorizing your camera guy, was it Brandon, to get that stuff? But the problem is, how, Linus, how you felt about that camera, how much expensive it is, that's how we feel about those budget gaming systems you keep pushing forward. To you is budget, and I'm thinking budget, $1,000 budget is no. I could get 3 systems for this, plus feed my family for about 4 weeks. And a lot of the third world countries, we watch you. That's the problem. I mean, I don't have any issue because I don't fall into that trap, but you guys are not helping anyone else, and there's young kids watching you, and they feel like they need to, and a lot of them
they need to live up to that sort of expectation of having to buy the best thing to be like the people who are watching on YouTube. YouTube is effectively now the new TV. They are on it all the time, and this kind of narrative of pushing expensive goods as being like the pinnacle of technology, which is the age that we are in. Thinking that you have to buy the best to effectively be the best, quote unquote. Yeah. That's not necessarily the best message to push. But also, this stuff which they're getting their hands on, they're not buying most of it.
True that.
They probably are not. They're probably inheriting the parts, putting it together, whatever, for a video, or somebody sending them something. And so they're getting it for free. It's sponsored.
Sometimes sponsored.
It is mostly sponsored, and therefore it's not a real reflection of what the average person, i.e. us guys, are able to afford, really. I mean, unless you are, multi-millionaire or whatever, you've got 200k to buy a camera to film. I don't know what you would even film with. What would you?
I mean, I know they explain why they needed 4K or 8K to do with the post-production. It makes the job easier, which I get. But listen, I don't want to sound too negative. Now, yes, companies need to produce new technology and push forward their advertise. Yeah. But YouTube was supposed to be a place where normal people come and be you. As in, that's you. But now it's turning so commercial. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Let the companies keep doing their advertisement. I'm not saying you guys should stop creating those content. They're brilliant. Now, here's my kind of solution, proposal, suggestion. You tell me what you think. Yeah. As much as you're pushing the new tech, which you need to grow your business, I get it. Why not also have a section dedicated to maintaining that previous tech? And that old tech, reuse. And I'm not talking about just the one-off video every now and then. Do you know how many people are still today looking for the 9 series graphics cards for the GTX, which is so, and like I've just showed, 60 FPS, 1080p, still perfect. But you guys have pushed to the 10, and now the 11 is either come out or coming out. And again, we were so excited about the 10 series. Now, obviously, 11 is coming out, and the 12 will come out, and the 13, and the 20.
It's non-stop, is it?
It's crazy. You need to stop pushing that agenda on us. But if you have a dedicated, equal kind of balance, because people also need to repair and maintain all this tech, and they're still very good. Yeah.
Welcome to socialist technology. Yes.
Are you doing socialist?
No, I think I do agree, and I think to play not devil's advocate a little bit, but like one thing I do think, like, you know, the videos about sort of like the latest and greatest technology. The benefit that does have is it allows people like us to maybe like can't afford, who won't be able to afford that sort of like the latest and greatest technology, to still be able to see it and to see people's like opinion of it and see whether it's good or bad without necessarily having to fork out £1,200 in order to find that out for ourselves. And like, you know, I'm just like, it is, I think there is benefit,
but I've just
assuming that you are sensible and you realize that, like, you know.
But I've just said, I don't think they should stop.
No, of course, exactly, yeah.
I think they should continue, but balance it out.
Exactly. There needs to be that. There needs to be that perspective that gets put on it. So, or at least, maybe if you have never noticed it now or never looked at your own habits, you should use this as a point to think, wait a minute, next time I watch a video about somebody showing 100,000 piece worth of technology, ask yourself, do you really need that? It's the question that you ask yourself that's the most important. What are you going to even use this for, rather than just following like a sheep? Before you know it, you've just bought it and it's sitting there. You've got absolutely no use for it after 2 months. And you've just wasted all that money.
And the next one is just down the line, which makes your one obsolete by whoever's definition, which is crazy. Apple. It's just nonsense. Okay, now what are we saying though? Now, granted, these guys who are, and again, there's this problem as well, isn't it? How much trust do you have for these type of channels, maybe, who keep getting the latest and greatest? I mean, come on, there is an element of bias at the end, yes or no? Even though if sometimes you have one video which you're ranting about how terrible this is.
I mean, I guess I would play devil's advocate. I would say if on the flip side, we were the ones receiving all this stuff, we'd probably keep doing exactly what they're doing.
Do you think?
Because I don't know, it depends on what your stance is on basically how you earn your income.
Well, right? I'm glad you mentioned this. The very ethos of my channel and channels like ours is we are trying to get people to realize you can still repair, not just pay someone to repair it, but you can learn it and repair yourself. And in fact, we have done so many on this channel. Like, you know, I've hooked up with this electronics engineer, retired, sweet guy, Alvin, shout out to you. And people like him, there's Restart Project, we are trying to save, and actually Restart Project did save a lot of landfill. It's amazing. They're going a bit worldwide now. So, and also that's a skill which people don't have. Come on, dude. This is the touch and swipe generation, man. Those people, they know nothing but touch and swipe, but they don't know even basic stuff. You'd be surprised. Oh my God, that's just crazy. So my point is, if those tech channels are claiming to be what they are, which is the voice for the people are still willing to repair their stuff. Many of them don't because there's no facility. They don't even know who to go to. Yeah. And if they go to YouTube, all they see being pushed for is the latest tech. That's the problem. So if and you're saying that maybe we would do the same. I'm hoping. I'm actually now putting a call out to ourselves. If that makes sense.
Call out to the universe. Yeah.
If you guys help us grow by subscribing, liking, sharing, and all this stuff, sponsorships, I want to create a division whereby as much effort is being put into the new tech, as much of that is being put into repairing, maintaining the old tech. In fact, if you want evidence, go and look at the 134 videos I've done on my channel so far. Almost none of them is new. Still rocking the Samsung Galaxy S5, by the way. And I'm not ready to invest into podcasting. That's why we're using the kind of the stupid lavalier microphone. I'm using my phone. Still working, and I'm quite happy with it. I might upgrade at some point, again, because of content creation needs, not because anything else. But even if I did upgrade, I'm going to the A6.
Just one up. Baby steps, yeah? Baby steps.
What do you think of that?
No, I agree. And I think like the idea, or we have this perception in our head that fixing things will cost more than buying a new one, right?
Sometimes it is
true. Sometimes it is true.
Not always. Not majority of the time.
No. So like, and I think that's the point that people, or that's the misconception that people need to start to get over. Not just chucking away their goods or whatever it is. Like sometimes you go and buy a kettle for £10 from the local shop. After it breaks, you think, I could go and find the broken heating element that's inside it or whatever and replace it. It might cost £5 plus shipping to get the part, and then there's the time and effort of the person having to do it, and then within that context they chuck it away. My thinking, or my sort of the way my brain is wired is, rather than buying a £10 kettle, if you look at it over a course of time, not just for that one instant, if you spend £50 on a kettle, that's good, that's less likely to break because it's made of better parts, it's assembled in a better way. And it lasts 5 years instead of the £10 kettle, which lasts 1. When you go to buy the £5 heating element, it becomes more worth it, right? And then over a longer period of time, you will have spent less money. You'll be more in tune with how your application works, how to fix it, not just the first time, but how you'll know how to fix it the next time, the time after that, the time after that. Yeah. So your £50 plus your repair cost could make your kettle last 20 years if you really wanted it to, instead of spending £10 a year.
I agree. I agree with you. And in fact, you're right. The first initial cost, people buy cheap thinking it's cheap. Cheap will cost you more, most of the time. So buy a reputable brand. For one thing, the parts will always be available if you buy reputable, not from dodgy. No disrespect to the Chinese community, but we know there's a Chinese market selling a lot of dodgy stuff. But the other thing as well, you mentioned heating element. This is what we're trying to teach. There is an element. There is a part of any tech which is going to be considered not worth repairing. Everyone, like take for the TV, usually it will be the LCD screen. If it's gone, there's no point. On the motherboard, maybe on a laptop motherboard, if it's a graphics chip, most of the time it's not worth repairing. Those cases you replace, but even then you don't throw away the whole computer. You replace the motherboard, and if the heating element goes in the kettle, you probably need to buy another one. But I've had kettles and toasters and lights for studio, whereby the only thing that was wrong with it was the fuse, and that cost like 15 pence.
Do you know what? The other day, whenever I went to the local recycling centre to deposit, like, what was it we were dropping off? I don't know. Where you recycle waste, sorted waste. There was a section that was to do with appliances. The amount of freezers that I saw there that effectively were left there that had a note on it that said, it's just a fuse.
Holy crap!
It's just a fuse that's not working. I was shocked. I was so shocked.
Listen. No, seriously.
I was so shocked, man.
If you have something with a broken fuse or a plug or a cord, we're not talking heating elements, put an advert on Gumtree as a freebie. People will collect it within the hour. I promise you. True or not?
If you're not willing to fix it,
come and pick up. I always get things like that, and I will also get things picked up. Jeez, man. Oh, come on, guys. Don't do this. This is ridiculous.
No, I mean, maybe I'm quiet because, you know, as a sort of young millennial, let's
Are
say.
you a millennial?
Yeah, am I? Am I not?
Should I be bashing you right now?
Probably. You probably should, because, you know, I don't know how to wield a hammer or turn a screwdriver or generally hold anything that isn't digital. So, you know, and I don't really had the opportunity to like learn these things. I mean, thanks to Sham, I'm sort of like learning these things slowly over time, and like your videos as well. Like I'm getting some insight into like fixing some electronics and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely like, and even myself, like I think I am more sort of digitally focused as like a computer science student and stuff like that. I think there are a lot of people my age or in my generation who like generally just don't have the opportunities, or they don't feel like they have the opportunities to like learn these skills.
But do you think it's an opportunity thing, or is it an agenda that's also pushed from maybe some powers that be? Because come on, companies need to keep selling and producing.
Yeah, I think it definitely affects their sort of, you know, just the way, like it's a lot easier for them to sort of based on what they see and what they and like and the way that they, you know, new tech is pushed to them.
I think what tends to happen, or at least with me and people who I know, is you buy something new, you use it for a while, then you don't consider replacing it until it's broken or something's wrong with it. Generally, when it is broken though, then you start looking at what's out there. What's the next upgrade I can get on my phone contract? What phones are relevant? What phones are sort of coming out now that have better specs than I have? And then you start doing this weighing up thing where you're like, okay, my thing's broken, I can get a new one. But no one's having like a three-pronged approach where they say, my thing's broken, I can get a new one, or I can fix it. Do you know what I mean?
If it's worth fixing.
Yeah, or even considering if it's worth fixing.
But that ties in what I was saying. Maybe you would not even think about fixing, you think about getting the next one.
Yeah, about getting the next one, or I mean, for example, like I remember we had a discussion one time about your phone broke, and we were thinking about getting a new phone, and this kind of goes back to what we were saying before about like new phones and stuff like that. But like the idea of, you know, my phone broke, time to look for a new phone. And you were saying that you thought it was more worth it for you to say like get a brand new phone, like the new one that just came out, even though it's a bit more expensive, just because it's sort of newer and you know, it might last you longer, and that it's more maybe more value for money. And maybe my argument was that, you know, because I mean my phone, it was like £180 phone, and it's still functioning for like it's been about a year and a half now. And I was saying, you know, do you really need a phone like that? Do you really need to get like the newest thing? Or could you just upgrade to like something slightly older and cheaper, but still just as effective? But then, even then, during that discussion, it never really came about as to like, could we even fix it? Absolutely. You know, that never even happened.
So that ties into what I'm saying. When you said about you don't have the opportunity, I agree. Which is why YouTube channels is not helping the case. No. The reason is because the companies out there, they have an agenda to produce, manufacture, advertise, and they have to sell. That's how they make money, right? Now, I don't want to say us because I'm not in that category. I'm quite low end, but the big YouTube channels are not helping that case. They could be quite unique to say, you guys, we know the big cheese are out there, but we are going to try and bring balance to and give you that opportunity because you follow YouTubers or the social media people. That's my whole gripe about this whole thing.
What I find is that you have these big YouTubers who you've named before, and then you've got the but like the upcoming YouTubers within the same industry, and they are looking towards them for inspiration on how to make their channel. But effectively what they do in the end is effectively just copy what they do. Absolutely. And you start to get into this perpetual cycle of the next generation of young kids who are coming up. They're like, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel. What shall I make my YouTube channel about? I know, I'm going to try and do unboxing videos of things that I can't afford. And I'm going to do review videos of things I can't afford. And it's just this, you're getting like 100 people doing exactly the same damn thing in their own different way. But really, it's not anything new or anything different or making you think in any different way. It's just another...
Yeah, in fact, it's making this so saturated, and a lot of people now, you know, instead of trying to go on what's it, stars in their eyes or whatever it's called, now we're going to big YouTuber. It's crazy. Now, again, I'm not ranting. I'm actually suggesting a solution. Peeps, YouTubers, tech channels, dedicate some time and effort and energy in repairing and reviving older tech. I think it's important. We are looking for this. You may think we're not. Yes, we want the new stuff, but we also want to know how to save some money on the older stuff. Yeah. Which I think you should do. So you need to, start thinking about this and doing this. And I am proposing my skill sets into repairing. We can collab. Send me the stuff. We'll do those together. No, seriously. Seriously. And also, why not teach this new generation? Yeah. How to
wield a screwdriver.
Multimeter, continuity test, basic stuff, which it's just logical. So we should do that. I mean, that's why we're suggesting. So again, please don't feel I'm trying to bash. I'm not. I love these guys, and I wish someday I'll meet them. And I'm hoping this will give us some traction. Traction is that the right word? Yeah. And traffic or whatever. But if I do, I will be always suggesting. Look, we still want decent gaming. We don't want the 11 series. You deal with this. We'll deal with that. Give us, or even give us your older hardware that you're not using or is broken. Yeah. We'll do something with it.
It's like in Star Wars where they say like rebalancing the Force. It's like you've got this like massive tendency towards only making like new stuff, new content, whatever. But there's still a relevance for everything that subsequents it. Otherwise, we're going to end up in a world where there's like,
absolutely,
there's going to be millions of these devices, there's no need.
We've got about 2 minutes left, so we're gonna have to cut this off because it's gonna shut off. Yeah? Okay, yeah. But just last thing to your point, the fact that so much stuff is being produced that many companies also produce very low-end crap, and that doesn't help because laptops is a good example. 200-pound laptops is crap, it's garbage. We shouldn't buy that, but people want cheap.
You made the point earlier of like. But what they're also doing is changing something so insignificantly and calling it something new. You were saying like the radius of a curve.
I didn't say that.
Oh, you haven't said it yet.
Off screen.
Okay.
Yeah. The next upgrade will be the radius of the edge of the curve of the phone will be slightly more. Come on. Anyway, we haven't got time for anything more. This was kind of a podcast rant discussion. Again, no disrespect to LinusTechTips, MKBHD, and Unbox Therapy, and the tech channels. We love you guys. We're just saying you could do better, and we want you to do better, and we're willing to cooperate. Thank you so much for watching. Leave us a like and a comment, and remember to subscribe and enable the bell icon notification for future videos. This was Ash,
Shan,
Shaq,
and you were watching HealMyTech. Until next time,
peace
out.